Hello and welcome. Welcome to this video. This is going to be my first ever glove review. It's a bit strange, so bear with me, go easy on me. I don't normally wear a lot of gloves, so this is quite strange for me to do anyway, but I thought I'd do it, seeing as I have them and I've used them and put them through some tests and things. So, and I like them, I do like them, so I thought I'd do a review. Most of my videos on my channel are reviews, so it makes kind of sense. Anyway, these are called Mechanix M-Pact gloves. See what they did there? M-Pact, Impact, very clever. Now if you don't know who Mechanix are, they're obviously a company, a glove making company among other things, and they have a deep history in motorsports. Their history started more or less in 1991, where Mechanix original gloves, imagine this glove but without all of this plastic guard stuff, were worn by the pit crews and the pit crew teams at Daytona 500. Then before they knew it, they had 41 other NASCAR teams asking for their gloves, and the rest is pretty much history. So since 1991, they've kind of been the leader in these kind of gloves for NASCAR races and all other motorsports, to be honest. Now, it doesn't really restrict their type of gloves to those things. You can use them however you wish, really. I've seen mechanics, not mechanics, but you know what I mean, using them to, inside a car and things. I don't really look in cars and do much about cars, so if there are any mechanics out there, put it in the comments whether they're practical, whether they're not, whether it's better just to use the little blue gloves and things. But anyway, I have heard of that. So that obviously means they do protect your hands and fingers pretty well. But don't just take my word for it. Go on their website if you're unsure, you never heard of them, and check them out, watch other reviews, read other reviews. It's always better to, pool all of your knowledge together. To be honest, I'd never heard of them until a friend recommended them to me, and tried them, really liked them. Right, I won't bore you any further, so we'll talk straight into the features of them. Now, they call this an impact guard here. Oh, it's even got their website on there, look. I never really noticed that. Observation skills. But yeah, this impact guard, it protects the knuckle with an EVA foam covered by rubberized grip material, or TPR, and that's short for thermal plastic rubber. So it's got this TPR on this glove, all here, and that protects against impacts. Alright, so anything smashing them or whatever, it will protect. So that's handy if you have to go prone. I'm talking airsoft or something like that, or I'm talking if you fall off your bike, or if something hits your hand, or you knock your hand against something. It's really going to protect your bones. Nothing worse than bruised bones. They take ages to heal. Anyway, it's also got this Tech Dry stretch fabric, this coyote coloured fabric. This is called Tech Dry stretch fabric, and it offers ventilation and wicks moisture, obviously away from the skin. And if you've had some good gear before, like any t-shirts that do that, any coats that do that, that wick the water away, any different layers of clothing in the heat or in the cold, you'll know what I'm talking about with it being wicking the moisture. Now, if you haven't already, check out my backyard video, where on one of the hottest days of the year in the UK, where temperature probably about between 30 and 33 degrees centigrade, I wear them on a bike ride. Bike ride lasts about 2 hours, something like that, and they performed very, very well. Okay, so 2 hours in the heat with me sweating and things, my hands getting wet, they didn't get wet that much, considering I was wearing a full pair of gloves. So it might be worth you watching that video, just to see some hands-on, no pun intended, experience of these gloves. Okay, now about the sizes. Well, sorry, we haven't finished the features actually. So we'll talk about this TPR. Okay, this thermoplastic rubber is actually on the wrist strap, I suppose you could call it. It's a hook and loop closure for a secure fit, but it's not your typical Velcro. If you see, it's very, very fine, very, very well made, and it's not your usual cheapo stuff. It's the high quality kind of Velcro, and that really, they honestly do stay on your hands very well. It's also got a little hoop on both of them. If you want to tie them up, tie them together, there's some options there. For grip wise, there's this rubberized grip on the thumb and on the index finger, but it's not on the other 3 fingers there. Alright, it's on there, the index and the thumb, and also on the, I don't know, what would you call that? The bend of your fingers, the start of your fingers, kind of like the top part of your palm. And they say that there's a second layer of material in high wear areas. Those high wear areas are obviously there. There's, you know, the rubberized grip even extends to the top of the index finger as well. Now, this second layer of material on the palm of your hand, you can see this yellow, and this is actually called PORON XRD. It's their special type of, kind of like foam in a way, but it's better than the standard foam, and that's mainly for impact and vibration absorption. And I must say that on my bike ride, if I don't wear any gloves, I'm going over loads of hills, you know, rocks, stones. My hands, the bones in my hands and my fingers, they get shaken to bits, and it, you know, the day after, a couple of days after, they do, I can tell that I've been on a bike ride just because of the vibrations. Wearing these gloves, they're not going to give you superpowers, but you can tell my hands didn't hurt at all. So they must be doing something secret behind the scenes with this impact and shock absorption, because yeah, my hands didn't really hurt, which is excellent. Speaking of palms, this whole material, it's not the same as the stretch fit. It's actually a synthetic leather palm, so it's not full leather, but it's just obviously man-made, you know, synthetic leather. So overall, these gloves, I'll talk about the sizes first of all. Now, the sizes are very generous. They're an American company. I think all their gloves are made in Vietnam though. Don't quote me on that, but these definitely were made in Vietnam. That doesn't really mean anything, but their sizes are generous. I did order a pair of large gloves. I tried them out, and they were just slightly too big. Their fingers are very generous, should I say, rather than the actual main part of your hands. The fingers are quite generous. So they were too big, not a problem. I swapped them for mediums. So if in doubt, yeah, you can use their sizing guide. Remember to measure for glove sizes, you put the tape measure or clothes tape measure, the material measure around there, around that part of your hand, basically the thickest part. So around that part of your hand there, your palm and over the back of your hand. You know, you can put it in the comments if I'm wrong, but that's what the diagram shows. And then the inches of that would equate to what sizes they do. But like I say, if in doubt, order the size below. I think that they are very affordable. These were £29, and considering that they are kind of like an upgrade to the original gloves because of the M-Pact protection and things like that, I think an extra £9 or so for the extra protection is well worth it. So the original gloves, if you wanted to get them, they're £20. The fingerless versions of these, which looking back on it, I probably should have used for the bike ride instead of these fingered ones. are £22. So they're, you know, £7 cheaper, and you know they cut off, so you don't get any of the extra grip and things. Then they do an M-Pact 2, which is £33, an M-Pact 3, now you're talking nearly £40, but they do have a Kevlar moulded knuckle. It depends what you, and they have this rubberized grip on every finger. So it depends how protected you want your hands, but I think that's incredible for the company to give you so many options and choices of you know, what environment you're in and what gloves you may need. I think that's very, very, very it's just an excellent thing for them to do. They are definitely high wearing. I've worn these on about 3 or 4 of my bike rides, and yeah, you can see there's a little bit of material sort of coming off in a way, and on the stretch fit there, but I reckon these will last me, they'll last a year, I suppose, if I'm lucky. But the only reason why there's wear on these parts is just because my grips on my handlebars are, you know, extremely grippy. Any glove would deteriorate on those handlebar ends. They are lightweight. They're 5 ounces or 142 grams. So they are lightweight considering the amount of protection you get. And I think they're just excellent protection gloves. They have many uses. I use them for, well, I use them for the bike ride. I've tried a liner glove for the winter and put the liner glove in there with them. That works fine. Your hands may sweat a bit more, but if your liner gloves are, you know, they wick moisture away from your hand, and so do these, your quid's in really, because it's a double effect, and your hands will obviously be a bit warmer. But to be honest, I reckon that these may keep your hands warm just by themselves in winter. I really do, actually, and I can't wait to use them when it gets colder. But anyway, the uses on the Mechanix website, they don't actually say, you know, one of the uses is use them for mountain biking or biking in general. They actually say maintenance and repair, construction, towing and transportation, DIY and home improvement. I mean, yeah, home improvement, you know, cutting logs, cutting bushes and things out in the yard. Yeah, definitely you could use these for these. I will be wearing them obviously in my axe review videos, when hopefully I can get some cut tests and some chopping done and things. But yeah, I mean, I'm very, very pleased with them, very happy with them. The price, like I say, is reasonable. If you have these gloves, or you're thinking about getting them, you know, post me a question or comment below. And thank you ever so much for watching this review. Take care.